Today, there are few things as important for India as innovation. Why do I say that? I think we've got a lot of systems in place. We've reached out widely. There are a large number of programs of the government to reach out through health, education. We have Rights to Education Act. We've got a very, very good bill now coming up for food security. We already have a Right to Information Act. But in all these, without the innovation that makes the system more productive, more transparent, and generates new ideas about how the issues facing our country can be solved, we are going to have difficulty. There have to be new and different solutions to the huge extent of problems that we face today. And these can best come by those who are most familiar with the problems, those who are right there living amidst the problem. And the exciting thing is that today, India is set for doing this kind of thing. It's not that creativity is suddenly been born or that it's new. Creativity and innovation has been there for a long time in India. But today, the surrounding ecosystem that encourages and nurtures such innovation is there in place. There is support. There is a much more open system. There is access to information. There is connectivity which helps this to happen. With all this happening, the right framework and groundwork is there now for innovation to not just be an idea, but for the idea to be translated into execution, and sometimes, where appropriate, for the idea to be translated into monetization on both fronts, where you have commercial applications of innovations or you have societal applications of innovation. There is scope, and this is going to begin to happen. I see the critical areas where we need to look at some of this as being the basic areas where we are faced with big problems in this country: health, education, livelihoods. In all three areas, innovative solutions, new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of doing things are critical. And this is not to be confused with invention, with creating something new, which is a great thing in itself. But these are innovations that take what exists, that comes up with something different, that comes up with a new process, or in the commercial sense, or broadening that definition to say a new kind of business model. What makes something viable, what makes it work, what makes it sustainable. And these are the kinds of things which are going to be spurred. We are now looking at seeing how the innate creativity and ideation that happens in India can be taken forward. And one of the things that the National Innovation Council will be looking at is how do we ensure that we create the right facilitation for people who have bright ideas and interesting solutions to take them forward. What kind of support do they need, and how can it best be facilitated? Sometimes it might be funding, sometimes it might be mentoring and guidance, sometimes it might be hand-holding, sometimes it might be just linking up one with the other, networking. And it's a combination of these that will really create the kinds of things that one would see, where 1,000 ideas bloom in every village, in every district maybe, and some of them will go by the wayside, but some of them, the more important ones, the ones that survive, the ones that make a difference, will continue. And the effort will be that these should be supported, they should be taken forward, they should be multiplied where appropriate, and taken on. To me, the critical thing is certainly to be able to scale up good ideas, to have an exchange of information, to pick up best practices. But equally important, if not more so, is that there should be many, many such things. So it is not just a question of taking one innovation and scaling it up, but it's an important thing would be to say how from one innovation do you get 100, 1,000, 100,000 innovations in this country going. And that's the kind of thing which I think we should look at. How do you create a ferment in the country where new ideas are continuously bubbling up, and the better among them get selected and supported and then taken forward, and the ones that are appropriate are scaled, are replicated, multiplied elsewhere. This would be something which I would see as being exciting, and this is the kind of broad agenda within which we will have to pick what the National Innovation Council does, and is what we will lay out as we begin to work on a concrete roadmap with specific ideas, with specific actions and specific outcomes, which is at the end of the day what one would look at. It's of course a process. Innovation is not a destination. It is not going from here to there. It is creating a process. It is somehow building DNA into, or genes you might say, and then creating a system that supports this as it happens. And this is what would seem very ambitious, but something which I hope we will be able to find the beginnings of as we move forward.